Question 31. Everyone Sells, a global lead generation company, has successfully deployed automated backup verification in their Veeam deployment. A backup administrator has been tasked to configure access for super users on the production network 192.168.1.0, so we have a C class here, to a server inside the Veeam on-demand sandbox masquerade network of 10.168.1.0. What should be configured? So first of all, what is this access for super users on the production network? Basically, they're trying to be able to get from the production network inside this masquerade network, but without having to do anything special for everyone who's on the network here. So let's take a look at the options here. Enable the automatic static IP mapping and provide the IP address provided by Veeam to the super users. I don't think there's any automatic static IP mapping feature, so I'll disregard this one for now. We can go and take a look at the UI. On each super user's computer, configure a static route to reach the masqueraded network through the Veeam backup server. First of all, this would be a lot of work. Secondly, it should not be going through the Veeam backup server. It should be going through the Veeam proxy appliance that's deployed as a part of the virtual lab. So this is definitely incorrect. And even if it was going through the proxy appliance, this is just crazy. This is not the right way to do it. Tick the Define Static IP Address Mapping checkbox and configure a new rule with an access IP in the 192.168.1.0 network and an isolated IP in the 10.168.1.0 network. This could be a potential one. We would have to go and take a closer look. My feeling is that inside that network, technically, this is the masquerade network that we have up here, but the machine inside that network does not have this IP. That's all handled by the proxy appliance. So I think we would have to specify the actual IP that it has in production. This is the one we have down here. Basically, take the Define Static IP Address Mapping, configuring rule with an access IP in the 192.168.1.0 network. So this is so that people, these super users who have access to this network here, they would be able to reach an IP here. So this should be a available IP there already. And then the service production IP as the isolated IP address. This definitely seems to be the correct one. On the core router, configure a static route to reach the masqueraded network through the Veeam backup. So this is quite similar to the one up here. Yeah, so instead of doing it for every person, we're now doing it on the core router. Makes sense. We could do this, of course, but again, we can't do this through the Veeam backup server. It would have to go through the virtual lab proxy appliance. So let's go and take a closer look at the UI here. Veeam user guide static IP mapping. Okay, so here's some explanation of what it looks like. Let's go to the create lab, specify static IP mapping, and we can see the actual UI here is define static IP address mapping checkbox. That's the one that's hidden behind here. And then we are specifying the isolated IP. So that's the IP this DNS server that they're mentioning here has inside the lab. And then the access IP. So this is the IP in the production network that we want to access. So based on this information, we can definitely confirm that this answer here is the correct one.